but so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, race fans, welcome to Evolution Racing Network's coverage of the Thursday night Throwdown presented by Delta Cams. Tonight we're coming to you live from Talladega Super Speedway. Have a good racing plan for you tonight. Alongside me tonight is my co-broadcaster from Tuesday nights, Steve Capel. Exciting race here tonight, Steve. Looking forward to a double hitter at Talladega. What are you expecting coming into here?
Absolutely, Mike. Doubleheader, Talladega, Arca cars and trucks. I mean, what we've seen through this series, through the first two races, this is going to really flip the script, Mike. I mean, if you made enemies last week, you need friends this week. So we're going to have to see, what guys, were able to get with their teammates and how they're going to qualify and how this race is going to turn out, because this is a track where you need friends in no matter what part of the race.
Yeah, you bring up a good point too. And if you don't have teammates coming into here, you're gonna need to make an alliance with someone. And last season's race here was outstanding, nail biter all the way to the end. In both series, the Arca and the Truck Series, I don't expect anything short of that tonight. It's been great two races this year so far. So, these guys are bringing the heat early.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And, it's interesting that, guys that raced in the race last year, did they take notes knowing that it was going to be on the schedule this season? That's something to look forward to. And then, guys that are new to the series, try to link up. I mean, I think we're slated for 40 laps here tonight, Mike. We should, if this thing stays green and we get a pit stop, you definitely don't want to pit by yourself. We know this, so it'll be interesting to see what guys, what the pit strategies are like, and what guys are gonna, kind of form maybe a little alliance here.
Yeah, you talk about pit strategy here. I think we're also going to see a mixed bag of guys that either want to run in the front, or run in the middle, or run in the back here tonight and make their play when they're ready. As this season, with the Arca cars, there are no fast repairs. They have one extra set of tires here tonight. So, the elephant in the room always, Talladega is the big one. So, we'll have to see how things play out here, but I think we'll see a mixed bag of strategy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mike. The big one definitely in the back of everyone's mind here tonight. But, the tires probably won't be an issue, I wouldn't say. But yeah, you're right. It is going to be a mixed bag. Do you start in the front? Do you start in the back? Some guys will say you definitely never want to start in the middle. So, but unfortunately, there are guys that have to start in the middle. So we'll have to see, how things play out here, Mike. But these guys are. It looks like they switched over to qualifying, Mike, and I think first one out on the track is going to be Brandon Perloff, I believe.
Yeah, you talk about pit strategy here. I think we're also going to see a mixed bag of strategy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mike. The big one definitely in the back of everyone's mind here tonight. But, the tires probably won't be an issue, I wouldn't say. But yeah, you're right. It is going to be a mixed bag. Do you start in the front? Do you start in the back?
Yeah, Yeah, it looks like Brandon Pearl is the first one out on the track so far. These are single car qualifying, so you're probably going to see these guys, definitely qualify with the typical Talladega line. I expect to see majority of them running at the wall. Your warm up lap and your first lap here. Bring it to the bottom, keep it as close as you can, that yellow line for your second lap. And 1 inch off that yellow line is going to be the difference between, first place qualifier and second on back. And I expect a lot of these times to be really, really close here.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. These times are going to be so close, and you nailed it right on the head there with 1 inch off of the line, and that's going to be that, because you're absolutely right. It's all about steering wheel input, honestly, especially when you're qualifying. If you put in just like another inch of input than say somebody else, I mean, it's to us up here it's thousandths of a second. I mean, it's a fraction. But down there on the track, when the times are this tight, I mean, that could be 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, 2 or 3 spots. And important thing to mention here is qualifying is important depending on where you want to start, where you want to run. But it doesn't matter who's leading until that final lap here, and we've seen millions of times the lead change right there before the start finish line. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end here tonight, without a doubt. Yeah,
absolutely, Mike. And that's one something important to know. We don't have really. We've got about half the field out there qualifying right now. We'll be flipping through some of these drivers here, but with only a 5-minute qualifying session, and it taking almost a minute to get around this track, you pretty much got to hit the track right away, or you're not gonna have enough time to qualify.
Yeah, and you see the first couple lines coming up on the board here. First couple of times are gonna be the warm up laps, so. As you see these names come up, the next lap by should be their actual qual time. So you should see these names flip around in the next minute, and you hit the nail on the head with that. It's roughly a minute around here, 53 seconds. And as you mentioned earlier, tires will not be a huge factor here tonight. Getting on and off pit road is going to be a huge factor, and not being by yourself coming to pit road may turn out to be a huge factor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You cannot come down. If you want to be a competitor in this race, Mike, you cannot come down pit road yourself. If you do, your race is pretty much over, because you need the draft. It's just the way it is. As looks like Bradley Wilson drops to the top of the board right there with a 53.11. These times are going to get so close, it's not even going to be funny. Last week's winner, Justin Malarkey, putting in a 53.206. These names are going to kind of jump around a little bit, as it looks like I think 11 guys right now, maybe 12 guys out on track right now qualifying, Mike. I would elect to say that's probably all it's going to be, honestly. I think the rest of the field will elect to not qualify and start in the back and take their chances.
Yeah, it looks like, as you mentioned, 11, it looks like there's 21 entries in the field from what I'm counting right now. Could be off there just a hair, but Joshua Clemens is at the top of the board right now. I'll see if anybody can unseat him with the almost 53 flat there, 53.079. And there you go, Joshua Abbey with the 53.076. So a difference of 0.003. That's not even the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it is amazing how tight these times get. As we look at John Peel right now, he's gonna see what he could do on his second lap, as he's pretty much the only guy left out on the track. Let's see if he can improve on his second time. Right before, got about 20 seconds left in the qualifying session itself, as John Peel is going to be able to get this lap in, and he will improve to the pole. John Peel with a 53.052. He's your top spot here tonight.
And not a surprise there. We've seen the top of the board here. I believe it was last week. He had some laps led in the Arca series here, so it's a name we're going to have to watch throughout the season. There's a lot of guys in here new to the series this season, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on them. We'll get ready to look at your qualifying results here. Starting on the pole, as we mentioned, will be John Peel in the number 7. Starting on his outside will be Joshua Abbey in the 05. Starting third, Joshua Clemens in the 33. Starting fourth, Bruce Weaver in the 50. Starting fifth is Bradley Wilson. Starting sixth is Donnie Lyons in the 79. Starting seventh is Kevin Winker in the number 42. Starting eighth is Josh Lockwood in the 19. Starting ninth is Cody Dorsey in the number 84. Starting 10th is Justin Malarkey. Starting 11th is Howie Meyer. Starting 12th is Brandon Pearl.
And rolling off 13th today in the race here tonight will be Kyle Bartles in the 95. Clinton Sneed, he'll roll off 14th in the 49. Garrett Delph in the 13, he'll roll off 15th. TJ DeBlasi in the 78, he'll be 16th tonight. Robert Colgan in the 94 will roll off 17th. 18th, Mitch Ellison in the 55. Rodney Griffin in the 97, he'll be your 19th starter. Johnny Barker in the 6 will roll off 20th, riding shotgun on the field tonight. Brian Skidmore in the 75.
21 car start here. Pretty good sized field here, especially Arca series. See these guys get underway and see things get sorted out. And last year we saw the third line develop here in these cars. I'm interesting to see when someone's going to try that third line tonight. And are they going to settle it out early? Are they going to ride, or is it going to be a battle up front, jockeying early in this race tonight? To stay tuned and find out here.
Yeah, this is, we say it every time, Mike, especially when we come to a restrictor plate track like we have here tonight. You can't win the race on lap 1, but I guarantee you there's somebody down there on the track that's going to try. And, hopefully we get a clean race. I think, these guys run pretty well together. We've seen in the first couple of weeks of the season here, these guys do a pretty good job of, giving space. But this is a track that's like no other, where these cars run so close. I mean, from first to probably last, you're probably maybe looking at a second or two gap. So these guys are going to be really sandwiched in there tonight.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, talking about as close together. Draft is going to be a huge effect. Curious to see if there's going to be able to do any contact whatsoever. I know historically in these cars in the last couple of years, they have not been able to do any. Some cars you're able to actually push the car in front of you. Some places on the track, but not in the corners or the tri-oval.
Yeah, it's you definitely don't want to be pushing in the corners. That tri-oval, believe it or not, even though there's not much to it, it's like driving on ice when you got somebody pushing you through it. And important to remember, especially on restarts, Mike, that start-finish line is not until you get completely through that tri-oval.
Yeah, and that kind of shakes things up a little bit, because you'll have an outside line, have a good run there coming off the corner, and you'll see the bottom line get a good run, about a third to halfway down the straightaway. So always provides a close finish here, especially on the last lap. And as they're battling two wide, positions jockey change for first place as pace cars rolling off right here. John Peel will lead them to the line here for the start of tonight's race from Talladega Speedway. 40 laps to go. Here we go, Steve.
Absolutely, John Peel in the 7. He's ready to rock and roll. He's going to have, looks like Joshua Abbey on his outside. As like we just mentioned, you got to come completely through that tri-oval before you get the drop of the green flag. John Peel patiently waiting as they come down 40 laps at Talladega. Mike, let's go. Green flag is out.
Green flag is out. Good start for both lines here. John Peel's going to be on the inside. Joshua Abbey's going to be leading that outside line here as we come through 1. Looks like Joshua Abbey's going to get the advantage there on the top side and be able to come down and take the lead from John Peel going into turn 1. Got a good battle side by side for second, third, and fourth here. Not surprising, people jockeying for position this early, but as it stands right now, Joshua Abbey's your leader.
Josh Abbey, great launch off the start, got that high line cooking about mid-back. Mike, that top line was really spaced apart. I don't know if somebody didn't get going, but they seem to be gathered up, and you're about, I want to say, top 8 to 10 cars side by side. After that, she kind of single files out.
Yeah, you got a 4-car pack here on the outside and pushed newcomer to the league. Bruce Lee Weaver here has just taken the point. Now it looks like that outside line is getting a good run here early in the race here, as you just see him basically jumping to the outside, pushing to the front, coming down. So you're seeing a lot of leader changers, and now looks like Donnie Lyons on the outside lane is going to have the advantage here. He's getting a good push right now by the 42 Kevin Winker. But Donnie Lyons comes to the bottom. That's going to put Kevin Winker on the outside with the huge run here. Looks like that outside line's the place to be right now, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside line, Mike, doing a good job. I'll tell you what, we're going to get worn down pretty quick up here talking about lead changes, because these guys are going to flip-flop multiple times, probably every lap, as long as there's 2 lines running. But right now, it looks like the 42 of Winker is going to come out. He's going to lead this lap. Donnie Lyons in the 79 doing a good job on the insides. Looks like Winker's going to drop down on the inside.
No surprise there, as looks like Brandon Pearl is going to clear as well. So they were both able to push by. That's going to leave the outside line with Justin Malarkey. And looks like, is that the 84 machine of Cody Dorsey behind him? So see what 2 cars on the outside can do versus 6 or 7 on the insides. They're getting a good run here.
Yeah, outside run with Malarkey and Dorsey is going to be okay for right now, but definitely need to get more cars in line, or that line is going to fade out really, really fast as the bottom line. I mean, we're looking, about 10 cars pushing down there on the bottom, so that's where you get all your drafting speed from. We'll see, though, because guys flip-flop a lot, Mike, bottom, top. So that top line, if they look like they're getting a run, you may see some guys from the bottom switch lines.
Yeah, right now, as we mentioned, that it's early enough in the race to see what 2 cars can do on the outside. But right now, it's an experiment. See what can happen. I mean, majority of your field right now is single file, with the exception of a few cars who are peeking to the outside. So take those lessons you learn now for later in the race, and a lot of these guys will back out a little bit, not quite lose the draft, but back out a little bit. See how long it takes them to catch that draft, get a huge run. All these guys are taking notes right now for the final lap of the race here tonight.
Absolutely, Mike. And this is, it's important to know that if you're Justin Malarkey, if you're Donnie Lyons, who, by the way, are still doing an excellent job of keeping up with these guys. I mean, they're still battling for the lead. You got to realize that we're only on lap 5 of a 40-lap race. We're going to have a pit stop in here. We may or may not be throwing some cautions as we got a car off the track. I do believe that was our leader there, Kevin Winker. It's a long race. You gotta try to be disciplined the best you can. As that top line, both Malarkey and Lyons capitalize on the mistake from Kevin Winker, and they're at the point.
Yeah, and Winker may have gotten a little bit of a push there. That's the thing. You can push to a certain point in these cars, and then when you push just a hair too much, it will actually turn the car in the front just a little bit. He did a great job, Winker did, of catching that car, and a good job, from Brandon Pearl of realizing what was going on and giving him room to get back up. So, no surprise here. These guys run really clean week after week. So, as they're still jockeying around now for the lead again, as Malarkey's got it. Looking to his outside right now is Joshua Abbey coming back for the lead. So it's like they're playing leapfrog right now.
Yeah, leapfrog indeed. Joshua Abbey will take the lead. We'll have to see if he decides to dip down and leave that high side out to dry, as a big run on the inside for Justin Malarkey as they come across the line to start lap number 7 here, Mike.
Yeah, lap number 7. That's a typical thing we see here at super speedways, especially. Cars on the inside are going to get the run in the middle of the corner. Cars on the outside are going to get the runs on the straightaway. It's kind of a seesaw battle here, and depends on who you got behind you, how close you are, as to how far out in front you get pushed. But you don't want to get too far out in front either, because that draft's going to catch you and leave you in the dust. You can get freight train really easily if you get too big of a lead here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. The draft is everything. It's almost as important as making sure you put fuel in the race car. Joshua Abbey will dip down right in front of Justin Malarkey. He will be your point driver as we come out of turns 3 and 4. Looks like for a second there I thought we were going to go 3 wide, but It looks like a lot of people abandoning the top line, jumping to the bottom, but now Justin Malarkey, he's going to get that outside line going again.
Well, I'm looking back towards the back here. Got a couple cars just hanging out behind that lead pack there. Looks like Clinton Sneed's in that pack. Mitch Ellison is in that pack. Brian Skidmore and Rodney Griffin are all there together. And you know what that's all about. You know, if there is a big one, they want to avoid that. And, you know, trying to see here, Josh, there we go. The board was kind of freaking out there. Joshua Abbey is still at the point right now. You got Malarkey's jumped back to the outside. Getting a push from the 84. I see a third line attempting to form here with the 78 machine. Looks like the 78 machine, that Bass Pro's Arca car on the outside here.
TJ de Blasi trying to get that third line started, and not a bad idea, Mike, because you know if you're coming down with 2 to go and you've got these many cars stacked up, you know, trying to go for a win. That third line could launch you to a win. So not a bad idea here to try to just at least test it out, see what it's going to be like. If the thing is, get enough guys to go with you, and you know, you could try it out. I think that's what they're trying to do right now, as they're making a little bit of headway.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the chat over here and YouTube, and Gabriel Ellison is pulling for Clinton Sneed here tonight. He just posted in the chat, my money is on Mr. Clinton Sneed here tonight. So already a little activity in chat. People out there watching, tuned in on YouTube. Make a comment in the chat. Tell us who you're pulling for, who you're rooting for here tonight from Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, this is one that's going to be tough to pick a winner, Mike. Especially if they don't get kind of filed out, you know, in between now and the traditional lap with 25 to go, like we typically would do. But we'll have to wait and see, as we're on lap 10 of 40 right now. And these guys, I mean, it's anybody's race. We know this. Clinton Sneed doing a pretty good job just hanging out in the back. You know, there's no sense of urgency right now to get up there and you know, be running 3 wide like these guys up are in the front. But I'll tell you what, doing an excellent job holding the lines and giving each other plenty of space.
Yeah, TJ de Blasi's really made that third line come to life. They're getting a good push by Robert Colgan here. They're making up ground, so you know these guys are taking mental note. See how much ground they're making up. You know, they're gonna get the run hugely, you know, on the straightaways here. And then the further you go to the bottom, you're going to have better runs in the center. You see that 94 back out just a little bit. I'm not sure if he's trying to get a draft back up, give another good push for a run here, or they're going to let the third line phase out for now and just note it for later, as they're still battling for the lead up here with Joshua Abbey on the inside, Bruce Lee Weaver in the middle groove there. So still jockeying amongst the top 10 right here, battling for position. As we mentioned earlier, got a few cars just riding back towards the back here, trying to make sure if there is a big one, they want to stay clear of it.
Yeah, absolutely. that's the thought on everybody's mind is, you know, when is the big one going to happen? It typically does, no matter what cars you're running, what league you're doing, if it's official race, if it's, you know, a league race like this, chances are it's going to happen. I mean, 40 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but it's an eternity in these cars, and where you're at a track, Mike, where, I mean, the smallest slip up can you know, take out you know, that you know, take out 10, 20 cars. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, and you know, I always compare this to going to Las Vegas or somewhere and putting your whole savings on the table and, you know, flipping a coin or rolling a dice here. It's always a big gamble. You know, Talladega is either a good night for you or a bad night for you. Usually one of the two can be wrong place, wrong time, or just get lucky and be the right place, right time. You see it in all the Cup Series, you see it all over the place. That guy in the right spot at the right time can't capitalize.
Yep, you're absolutely Mike right. Right, Mike. And you know, it's interesting. You know, from I believe we heard about 10 drivers pulling double duty tonight. So Very interesting. This is a track where you could take a lot of data from the Arca race and take it to the truck race, because the idea of how the car is going to handle, is essentially the same. The way it drafts is going to be different, and fuel mileage and stuff. But you could really get an idea on things you could get away with and things you can't. So I think we'll see a lot of guys. See a lot of guys. The guys that are pulling the double duty tonight should be pretty successful in the truck race as well.
Yeah, and just looking at the chat again here, I see Delta Cam, the title sponsor here, is tuned in and also keyed into the chat here. Saying they're new in the show. Clinton Sneed got them hooked. Definitely want to say a thanks to those guys, Delta Cam, that bring us this every single week here. They are a second generation veteran owned business, which is near and dear to my heart. Anybody that listens in, they work on camshafts. Been doing it for many years. They take a lot of pride in their work, and that's one thing they pride themselves in, is the ability to repair almost any camshaft. Anybody looking in the market for a camshaft, definitely check them out at www.deltacam.com. Definitely, worth a reach, to talk to these guys. As many years of experience and seem very passionate about their work.
Absolutely, Mike. We can't thank DeltaCam.com enough for not only bringing us this series, but getting involved in the community. I mean, the iRacing is taking off like we haven't seen anything take off in a number of years. Partly due to the pandemic, but we're glad to have them on board, and hopefully for many years to come.
Yeah, and this is such a small, tight knit community here. You see guys from one league to another. Hey, I know that guy. Hey, I know that guy. So it's a very small community, and businesses like that really help these guys be able to get out here, race on a nightly basis, a weekly basis, and really, help bring it home to the fans and to the family members of these guys who dedicate a lot of time here, and their families, sacrifice the time for these guys to get out here and have some fun and hone their skills.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Well, you know what? We're going to have to throw up a Hail Mary here, Michael. And we got 25 laps to go. We haven't seen a pit stop, but we need to pick a winner here. And, boy, I'll tell you what, it's tough with, being this early in the race. Who you got?
Going back last year, it's a tough decision, but I watched a guy dedicated to the outside line. Ran really well here, and I've got to go with Kevin Winker in that 42 machine. He's up on the high side now. It just seemed like he took a lot of notes last year, was able to get that high line to work, so that's my pick here for tonight.
Yeah, great pick, Mike. He was very strong. As we got trouble coming out in turn 3 and 4. We got one car around, still showing under green here. No caution being thrown, Mike.
And unfortunately, I may have jinxed him. That would look like the machine of Justin Malarkey and Kevin Winker there. A little contact. Couldn't tell, but we're not under caution, as you mentioned. See if they can clear them or get them back going here. Looks like a little couple cars blinking in and out here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we definitely got some connection issues throughout the server tonight. That, folks, that is something, unfortunately, when everything's based running through the internet. That's how it happens. So bear with us, and hopefully we'll get that settled out. And it's crazy there, Mike. I mean, that really shook things up here. We went from having almost everybody kind of bunched together to oh boy, now it's about a 10 to 12 pack, running up here in the front now.
Yeah, you got about a 10 or 12 pack breakaway, looks like, up here in the front. That just, everybody checking up. These guys were fortunate enough that they were in front of it, so they were able to keep in the gas. So we'll have to see what happens here, as Joshua Abbey is still your leader there, getting a good push from Brandon Pearl, getting a challenge on the outside now. by Cody Dorsey and Bruce Lee Weaver here. So we're back to 2 wide here up towards the front. Not surprising. About coming to halfway here. Not this time, Bob, but next time. So, expect going to see any stops here tonight. They probably gonna start happening. I'm not sure exactly. Talladega is one of those tracks that, depending on the draft, which is another valid point. If you're the guy leading point, you're burning more fuel than anybody else.
Yeah, that's the thing, Mike. I mean, yeah, it's cool to be out in the lead, but you're absolutely right. You're burning the most fuel. The double is that the 00 Brandon Pearl running behind Joshua Abbey. He's saving the most fuel right now because he's not even probably full into the throttle. I mean, he's able to stick to the back, and he's saving the most fuel. So that's another thing. Honestly, in an ideal position, especially when we're talking a race like where fuel mileage may be a factor. It's kind of an unknown right now. But if you only need to lead the last lap. You don't get, you might get some bonus points for leading the most laps here. But I'll tell you what, in a track where it comes down to fuel mileage, as long as you lead the last one, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah, and I've run some races here where it came down to fuel mileage and you had to save a few laps throughout the run. It's a hard thing to do is to save those laps watching those cars driving away from the pack that you're in. But you just have to know that and remain and vigilant in your strategy that you're going to be good. Those guys are going to have to pit. So we'll see how this shapes up here tonight. See a couple cars there on the bottom. Look like Malarkey was on the bottom there. And this year, as we mentioned earlier, there are no fast repairs in this series. So you got to get what damage you can get fixed under a green flag stops, which is hardly any. Or if caution does come, that's when you want to get all your damage done. But even if you get it completely repaired, it's not going to be a perfect, pristine car, especially somewhere a draft dependent, air dependent place such as Talladega and Daytona. Looks like the 6 got into the wall there a little bit coming out of 3 and 4. It's going to stay on the green. He's able to get it back going there, but little tag of the wall and just held on to him.
Yeah, the 6 of Johnny Barker making contact with the wall, Mike, and you nailed it right on the head. I mean, this is a track where if you get your car gets hit with a stone, it slows it down. So, these guys can go in and get damage fixed, but it'll never be to the point where, it was when they started the race. So very important. And another thing, no fast repair this year. So those guys that were, tangled up in that first incident we had a few laps ago, chances are that they've kind of, wrote themselves off for tonight. But, back up front here, Joshua Abbey is doing a great job. He's leading a ton of laps so far, but I'm almost concerned for him because of the fuel situation. Burning the most fuel, gonna have to be the first guy, ultimately to come down the pit road. And, it makes it tough because if you don't have a teammate or a buddy with you, you need somebody down on pit road with you, especially under green.
Yeah, him and Brandon Pearl have been working really well together tonight. As you see them running right now, 1 and 2. I just went back looking about the 10th position here. There is another group of cars here, about 6 cars, 4 running in line together on the bottom, 2 a little bit higher here, that are about 10 seconds back from the leaders here. So this is part of that group that was had a little contact or had a little check up there with that last incident under green. These guys were able to maintain, keep it going here, but curious to see how this is gonna factor, as you mentioned, with pit stops and everything. And then you see another pack of cars, five packs back. It's Clinton Snead and Mitch Ellison, Rodney Griffin, Brian Skidmore, and John Peel still working together here. So they're dedicated to the strategy here. I believe they're thinking there's probably going to be a big one here, and they're just buying it safe right now. At some point, they're going to have to push it and go, though.
Yeah, Mike, at this point of the race with now 16 laps to go, if you're that rear pack, I mean, you're pretty much hoping for a caution because, that group they're almost a half a lap off of everybody. So that's something where you really need a caution and to, re-rack them. and make a go at it. But it's just one of those things. We had a an incident that was kind of like mid pack, and everybody checks up, slows you down. Maybe a couple cars were involved in that, and it just really separates the field. But this is right now. I mean, Joshua Abbey doing the best he can, but will these guys have to stop? That's going to be the important time, and if they do, when do you come down pit road?
Yeah, that's going to be an important fact. It's going to be timing and who you've got with you. The more cars you can bring with you, the better shape you're going to be. It's still only the third race this season. And, looking at the points right now, take a look at that. Justin Malarkey's your leader with 86 points. Clinton Sneed, also great runs all season long. Last season started this season off. 3 out of 4 races he's running in the trucks and the Arca. He's had podium finishes. He's sitting in second, and Joshua Clemens sitting in third. And the points are compliments of Sim Racer Hub. Everybody very familiar with that, and they've come on board. It is an associate sponsor here as well. Any league admins and others on the tuned in the broadcast here will remember it. And the iRacing community is Dan Lisa, Sim Racer Hub. It's www.simracerhub.com now. They've already gone in, made some great changes. You see some highlighted leagues, you see some updates, and there's still more coming. And, these league admins, that's your ultimate stop for your league scoring. Takes a lot of pressure off the admins of the leagues.
It sure does, Mike. As a league owner myself, coming in from the pencil and paper days where we were doing addition and subtraction and racking our brains, and then we, Dan Lisa hits the market, and we're all excited. And I'll tell you what, Clinton Sneed and their team have done a great job of taking a very good platform in Dan Lisa and just enhancing it. It looks great. It's even easier now than ever to use, and so a big shout out to Sim Racer Hub, not only for being an associate sponsor here for Thursday Night Throwdown, but also doing what they do on a daily basis to make our lives a little easier.
Yeah, they definitely make them a lot easier. So many contingencies built into that program for scoring that makes drop races, all that stuff, well easy. But looking back at the action here, you still got Joshua Abbey as your leader, Brandon Perlin in second. Pretty much looking about 9 cars up front. You got 2 running the high line right now, and that would be Bruce Lee Weaver and Cody Dorsey. Still working that high side there, as we're now working lap number 29. So looking at 12 to go as they run right now. A couple packs of cars, as we highlighted earlier. You've got a 9 here, roughly 6 or so, about 10, 11 seconds back. And you've got another 5 or 6 pack, about another 20 seconds back. So definitely some different strategies we expected coming into here. See how all this works out. But Joshua Abbey's kind of held the point here. Brandon Pearl, good push. The only thing we're concerned with is that fuel mileage, especially Joshua Abbey.
Yeah, Joshua Abbey, and I believe it's going to be the 50 of Bruce Lee Weaver are the 2 guys that I'm going to worry about, as it looks like Bruce Lee's going to hit the high side, let that 84 machine kind of take the point and kind of do a little flip-flop. This is something that is very beneficial, not only for fuel mileage, but for keeping the car cool. But Mike, it's something we haven't seen out of Joshua Abbey and Brandon Pearl. Maybe one because they really can't do it with the way things are kind of racked up behind them. But I want to keep an eye on this top line right now, because I believe that your winner is going to come from this top line. I don't know. I don't really have any hard information, just a solid hunch. That top line gets formed in late, with 5 laps to go or so. They can make a really, really strong push for the race win.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, too. You're talking about the middle line and then the third group. Late in the race, if you're stuck on the bottom, you've got nowhere to go. If you're in the middle lane, it kind of gives you an option to go high, see the runs coming, make your move. But when you're stuck on the bottom, it's not much you can do. You've got to keep up with the car in front of you. You see a gap, take it, but you're pretty much locked in because you cannot go beneath that yellow line here at Daytona or Talladega here tonight in advanced position. If you do, it's a penalty. As you see, one car, looks like the 84, just slid up there to the outside line, saw the opening, took it, and he's trying to push his way up to the front now. And that would be the 84 of Cody Dorsey. He wants to get back to the point.
Yeah, 84 Dorsey, as they run really, really tight going through the dry oval. The 50 of Bruce Lee Weaver going to grab that very, very top line, and he's going to tuck back in line right now. I think he's just trying to breathe the radiator a little bit, cool that thing down. And but I'll tell you what, Mike, we're set up to have ourselves a pretty good finish, as the 50 will dive down to the bottom line now.
Yeah, they're still jockeying around. Probably a little bit of teammate shuffling here. You know, you have a car between the guy and the guy you want to work with. You might see some shuffling around, or, you know, hey, you take the point for a little while. All that will come into factor, you know, until you get to the last lap. And then the last lap of the race, you know, especially turn 3 and 4, it's anybody's race from there out. All teammate partnerships are done out of the window, especially Daytona and Talladega. Usually, you might have, you know, a team work together pretty much throughout the whole race, depending on how tight the racing is and the situation around it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. As you know, with 8 laps to go, if you're the guys at the back of this pack, the 19 of Josh Lockwood, Johnny Barker in the 6, even though he made a little wall contact, those are guys I'm keeping my eye on, because they're keeping a little bit of space in between them. So when it's time to go, they can hammer down on that throttle, get an incredible run. They could choose to go all the way up to the high line with that run and try to push that line, you know, maybe out to the front. So those are 2 guys I'm keeping an eye on. Being in the back of the pack there isn't always such a bad thing when the laps are winding down.
No, and especially if you stay in the draft and it comes down to fuel mileage, you're going to have more fuel than these guys that have pushed the car, got on the outside lane, pushed their way up to the front, or ran the car really hard. So they're just maintaining that draft right now. And like I said, as it runs green flag, it could be any one of these 9 cars that jockey position at the right time, at the right place, that can walk away with the checker flag here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be it's coming down to the wire here, Mike. I mean, these guys are, you know, the guys that are up front are feeling confident, but the guys that aren't, you know, you're running out of time. I mean, guys that are, you know, not in this lead pack, I wouldn't foresee them, you know, unless anything something crazy happens with a caution. But if we stay green, I think your winner's going to come from this lead pack right here, as we've got guys changing lines, trying to find the speed. This is the time where you're going to start seeing a lot of guys jumping out and starting testing things, testing the theories. Is, you know, can I get a good run on the high line? Can we get that line moving up to the front, making a push? Because, you know, it's time to go, Mike.
Yeah, and it looks like, I'm looking at the lead pack now, looks like they are catching the pack of Clinton Sneed and company pretty rapidly here. Clinton Sneed and them are now on the front stretch, and that lead pack just came on the front stretch. So they're less than half the distance from the tri-oval from turns 3 and 4 here. So they might be closing in pretty quick, and that might shuffle things up around a little bit. As they're 3 wide now, the lead pack is coming through 1 and 2.
Back to 3 wide. The 19 of Lockwood, kind of a little indecisive what line he wants to run. Does he want to stay up high with the 33 or stay in that middle line? He likes to go high. And I'll tell you what, this is going to play really interesting, because they're coming right up on the back end of this slower pack, Mike.
Yeah, and as you see the leader making some moves here, trying to make sure he's in position so he doesn't get picked here. Looks like Bruce Lee Weaver is going to have to try to find a spot here to try to move up, as he's going to be closing in that pack pretty quick here. Joshua Abbey, they're going to give him room here by going 3 wide. Joshua Abbey and company, it looks like they're going to be able to clear this pack here. At least the front 2 cars. They may use this to shuffle things up a little bit. Looks like the top 5, 6, pretty much the whole lead pack gonna be able to get by pretty easily. The one that's going to struggle right now is the 33. I'm looking to see if he's going to be able to clear here, and he will clear here. So, top group here, able to clear them. That group of 5 or 6 cars running back towards the back. So, yeah, unfortunately, strategy doesn't pay off all times. Yeah, you got to have one coming in, and you got to stick to it. So that's the best you can do sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the the problem with racing on a track like this. As we've got 3 to go, Mike. We've got, boy, I'll tell you what, we're geared up for an exciting finish. We've got 3 cars down low, running nose to tail right now, and we've got a bunch running that high line. And I'll tell you what, don't be surprised if we see a third line form when we come to 2 to go.
Now they just got by him, but this pack of cars that they just got by may come into effect here in the last 3 or 4 laps. That's going to put more cars in that draft, especially if they catch up to that pack in front of them. So, a caution comes out. That group behind them could benefit and get their lap back here. So I'm curious to see how they're going to play. As we mentioned, we have a caution out. It looks like we got a spin there right in the front.
Yeah, spin right on the front there. So we try to iRacing having a little bit of a meltdown here, and we're going to try to get this all sorted out. But we are under caution here as we took, I believe that was the 2 to go marker, Mike. So we should end here in a green-white checker.
Yeah, we should have this be green-white checker attempt 1 out of 2 here. So we'll have to go back and see if we can see exactly what happened there.
Yeah, let's see if we can't pull that replay up for you guys here. So it looks like the 50 just drops down. The 50 of Bruce Lee Weaver just kind of tries to tuck in line, and a little earlier maybe than he should have, and kind of just spins himself. That's when we're under our first caution here tonight.
Yeah, here especially in Daytona, by the time your spotter says clear, that door is already closed. That's the hard part about these tracks, is the move at the right time there. So, to see how this is going to shuffle things up here, it looks like as we're sitting right now, Joshua Abbey is staying out as of right now. See if anybody elects to come down pit road here. This will help them in the fuel situation if they're close here.
Yeah, absolutely. This will definitely, if anybody was close, we'll have to just wait and see here, as it looks like we got a bunch of takers down on pit road. And, folks, we apologize for this, the way these cars are blinking on the screen. We're trying to get that fixed here for you. We are under caution here, though, for the first time, and we'll see if we can't get this cleaned up for you.
Yeah, well, we'll try to get this cleaned up for you. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break here. Pay some bills, try to get this reloaded for you. Bring you back to the finale of this race here on Evolution Racing Network.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Folds of honor above my garage 13 years ago, because 90% of spouses and children of killed or disabled U.S. service members receive no federal education assistance. Our mission has never wavered. We honor their sacrifices by educating their legacy.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Fold of Honor.
Thanks to you, I will be a construction engineer.
An elementary school teacher.
Thank you for helping me fulfill my dream of going to med school.
We're able to award these scholarships because patriots like you refuse to turn your back on the cost of freedom. Join the Folds of Honor Squadron today. Your $13 a month will help ensure we never turn military families away. This is your call to duty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thanks to people like you, I know my dad is not forgotten.
Welcome back to Sim Racing fans. Thursday night throwdown presented by DeltaCam.com. I believe we were running a little bit of technical difficulties. We've got some storms rolling through up here in Pennsylvania where the stream is being produced from. So we're trying to get that cleaned up for you. But we are still under caution here. We did get some takers down on pit road, Mike.
Yeah, we had a few takers there on pit road. Looks like as they run right now, Bruce Lee Weaver is going to be scored as your leader there. Joshua Abbey is going to be on the outside lane here. And you can't tell, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if maybe Abbey he chose the outside lane. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And, as I just mentioned, these leaders have a choice of what lane to start in. Unfortunately, I didn't hear them in the chat speak it out. So, we'll have to see how that run rolls here, but as they run right now, your top 10 are Bruce Lee Weaver, Joshua Abbey on the outside, Cody Dorsey in third, fourth is Brandon Pearl, fifth will be looks like Joshua Clemens, sixth Boy Mayer, seventh Josh Lockwood, eighth Donnie Lyons, ninth TJ DeBlasi, and 10th Johnny Barker. And I apologize if I get them a little out of order there, that they're under the pace laps here when they're jockeying back and forth. It scores them in front of the other cars, so a little hard to keep up with at times.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. It's a handful when these guys are under caution, but hey, we're gonna a little overtime here for the Arca series. Boy, I'll tell you what, now that everybody's stacked and re-racked and oh man, it's anybody's race now.
Anybody's racing. For everybody tuning in, we got the truck race following this from Talladega as well, so that's going to be another exciting race here that we're looking forward to tonight. They're re-racked and stacked, getting ready to go here. As the pace car is off, Bruce Lee Weaver will lead them to the start here. And key element here is I think you want to get a lead, but not too much, Steve.
Yeah, just a little bit of a cushion. Nothing crazy, because if you do, that pack's going to get such a run, and they're going to run right over you, and that's going to be the end of it as they come through the trial here. Hopefully for the final restart tonight, Bruce Lee Weaver in the 50 Camel machine, off he goes, and we are under green here. Let's see if we can't get a winner, Mike.
Yeah, Bruce Lee Weaver is going to be your leader. Joshua Abbey is going to squeeze down. Looks like to the second position. As they come into turn one, your top six running single file. Bruce Lee Weaver, your leader. Second, Joshua Abbey. Third, Cody Dorsey. Fourth, Brandon Pearl. We're going to see all this change pretty quickly, as you're going to see some shifting here. 2 wide, maybe even 3 wide over the next lap and a half. As it looks like we've got another caution out. So these guys will re-rack them and stack them for the second green-white checker attempt, and that will be the final green-white checker attempt.
Yeah, only 2 attempts, Mike, so it's really important that, we get this next one in, as I believe TJ DeBlasi was the one that was involved in that caution. And I just want to sincerely apologize to everybody out watching YouTube. We are experiencing some crazy technical difficulties here. We will stay with you, and we do apologize for the flashing of the cars on the screen. I do believe that's coming from our end here in the production trailer. We are experiencing some storms right now, so we do apologize for that.
And we'll keep you, you can at least hear and know what's going on. We're still continuing to try to get that cleared up here, but if it's due to the elements, unfortunately, they're kind of limited on what we can do. We're going to just stay tuned with us, and as I mentioned, we're trying to get it cleared up as fast as we can. We're under our second caution here. Green-white checker attempt number 2 of 2 coming up. Guys will have another, couple laps under caution here. while they're under caution, we're going to try one more quick attempt here to get this cleaned up here for you for the final reload of the race here. So stay tuned on Evolution Racing Network. We'll be right back with your final green white checker attempt here from Talladega Super Speedway.
With the butt kick, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
Folds of honor above my garage 13 years ago, because 90% of spouses and children of killed or disabled U.S. service members receive no federal education assistance. Our mission has never wavered. We honor their sacrifices by educating their legacy.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Fold of Honor.
Thanks to you, I will be a construction engineer.
An elementary school teacher.
Thank you for helping me fulfill my dream of going to med school.
We're able to award these scholarships because patriots like you refuse to turn your back on the cost of freedom. Join the Folds of Honor Squadron today. Your $13 a month will help ensure we never turn military families away. This is your call to duty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thanks to people like you, I know my dad is not forgotten.
Lead us in.
Welcome back in, sim racing fans. Everybody watching us out on YouTube, we thank you, and we again apologize for the stream quality here tonight due to some inclement weather rolling through. But we'll definitely get you the audio for the conclusion here, and we'll do our best to give you guys the best viewing experience. Unfortunately, that's one part of this is when bad weather rolls through. There's not a whole lot we can do about it, but we are getting ready to rack them up here, Mike, for a final green white checker attempt. It's important that if you're the leader, you get to the point, because if a caution comes out, field gets frozen, and that's how they finish.
Yeah, and just a little note there. While we were away at commercial, we noticed that Bruce Lee Weaver, Brandon Pearl, Joshua Abbey came down pit road there. Looked like for a splash of fuel here. So this second green white checker attempt is definitely playing with the fuel here tonight. These guys want to make sure they got enough to get to the end. But that may benefit one of these other cars up front here, is if they were able to maintain in the draft and save just fuel here to make it to the end. So that's one thing we're gonna have to watch for the next on the green white checkered final attempt here is, cars running out of fuel may be something that they have to deal with here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. Cars can run out of fuel. If you're that lead pack and you haven't pitted, which is about the top 6, I think. Do you have enough fuel? Do you have enough fuel to get to the end, or we'll have to see. But these guys, as they come through turns 3 and 4 here, Mike, we're getting ready to go green flag racing here.
Yeah, they're double stacking and racking now, so I expect green this time by. I'm sure these guys are clutching it and killing the motor here, trying to save as much fuel as they can. Because one of these runs out in the middle of a pack, it can wreak havoc. A lot of these guys are good at getting, especially on the bottom line, getting that machine off the track, or if you're in the top, just the communication is vital here. Out of fuel and pull out so the other guys can get by. A loss of power is a huge momentum shift here for guys behind you.
Yep, absolutely. As the 84 Cody Dorsey will be your lead control car here. He'll have Joshua Clemens on his outside in the 33, and we will we will have to see how these guys, how things end up here. Final green white checker attempt, and we shall see. Mike, as Cody Dorsey's going to lead them on down.
Cody Dorsey will lead them for the final green-white checker attempt here. Going green this time by your leader is Cody Dorsey. Joshua Clemens is now scored in second. Third is Donnie Lyons. Fourth, Howie Mayer. Fifth is Cal Bartle. Sixth, Johnny Barker. Seventh, Garrett Delph. Eighth, Bradley Wilson. 9, Brandon Pearl. And 10, Bruce Lee Weaver here. Pace cars should be dipping them off here as we're going back under green at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, Cody Dorsey, big jump. I don't know if that's going to hurt him with such a big jump, but, like we said, if we do get another yellow, that's going to freeze the field, and, he would ultimately, be your winner. So we will we'll have to see as they come through turns 1 and 2. Still Dorsey at the point. The outside line, only that the 33 right now of Josh Clemens. Now he's got a couple of guys coming along with him. That top line, Mike, should form in.
Yeah, I got a couple cars coming on the high side now with a huge run. That looks like the 13 machine on the outside. Garrett Delph is able to come down. He's going to get to the front here. 3 wide there, back for at the 4th position. The guys have built a momentum up here. This will be the final time around coming by this time here from Talladega.
Absolutely, Mike, as they would take the white flag, so this will be an official race. Next flag ends it, and we will, well, I'll tell you what, we'll have to see how everything kind of plays out here.
You got the 929 now of Howie Mayer making a run here, getting a good push from Brandon Pearl. You see Brandon Lee back. Oh, we got trouble there in the wall back here. 929 and the 13 with a breakaway right now, so Howie Mayer is your leader right now. Garrett Delph, we're still under green. These two guys are going to be battling for the win here tonight from Talladega, as the 13 is going to get a run on the inside. Oh, we got 929's turned. Looks like 13 is going to be down a little bit on power. This is going to allow the next 2 cars to catch here. Who is it going to be here at the line? It's going to be close. And it looks like the TJ DeBlasi is going to come away with the win here tonight. Garrett Delph's going to take home second. Mitch Ellison's going to come home third. Had some contact there on the final lap there. Kind of affected those guys in the second and third lane there. And then a little bit more contact coming through 3 and 4.
Yeah, TJ DeBlasi will be your winner here. And we'll apologize we weren't even able to get that shot in for you guys to see. TJ DeBlasi, your winner here tonight. Garrett Delph coming home second. Mitch Ellison will be your third place, Mike. And what seemed to be, from what I was hearing on your end, because I certainly couldn't see it, is a pretty exciting finish.
Yeah, it had a little bit of contact there, like I said, in 3 and 4. You could see the momentum shift there from the 13 machine. Allowed TJ DeBlasi there with a little help from Mitch Ellison pushing behind him to get back up towards the front, get a good run on the outside, and take the checker flag right before the line there. So good race here tonight. I got the Truck Series coming up. Expect some more high-paced action from them tonight.
Yeah, Mike, Truck Series, a couple guys running, like we said, a couple of guys working double duty here tonight. So, what do you take from this race, and push over to the truck race that we're about to see. It's gonna be pretty wild, but I'm pretty excited to talk to these top 3. Kind of get a little bit better insight on what those last couple of laps were like. But TJ DeBlasi, your winner here tonight, Mike.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with your top 3 interviews here on Evolution Racing Network.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today And let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, some racing fans. Talladega Super Speedway for the conclusion of the Super Speedway Showdown here, Mike, from Talladega, and a race where we just saw TJ DeBlasi come away home with the win. And what do you say we get these interviews kicked off?
So let's do that there. I'm excited to talk to these top three guys and see what they saw, especially on that last lap here at Talladega. Let's bring in Mitch Ellison, your third place finisher here tonight.
Yeah, third place finisher. Hi, Mitch. This is Steve and Mike up in the year-end booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, Mitch. Pretty good run here tonight. We're having a little bit of technical issues here up in the ERN production booth. We didn't actually get to catch the end of that. Walk us through those last couple of laps, especially that second green-white checker. What was going through your head, and what was it like, out there on the track coming down to the finish here?
Well, I mean, me and Clinton played it conservatively, just rode around in the back the whole race, trying to avoid wrecks and stuff. I was actually the lucky dog there before the last green-white checkered. Started behind all the lap cars and everything, and they just had a big pile up there on the last lap, and I was so far back that I could just watch them all spread out, and I just stayed in it, drove right through them, and ended up third. I was 13th when it started, so to be honest with you, I didn't have a real good view of it.
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch. Yeah, good strategy. We were paying attention to that close, earlier in the race. We seen you, Clinton, kind of running towards the back, and then we, kind of got a couple of cautions there. What were you thinking when the first green-white checker? Did you think your guys were going to get a clean restart and finish it off, or were you guys planning for a second caution there at the end?
Well, I was still a lap down there on the first green-white checkered, so I was hoping and praying for one more caution and hoping I could stay the lucky dog, and just so happened to do so. But really the main goal going into that first green-white checkered was to try to help Clinton get to the front, and then he ended up getting taken out in that wreck, so it just left me to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch. I'll tell you what, you did a stellar job out there tonight. Just being in the right place at the right time is something huge at Talladega. But next week, Mitch, we flip the script and head on down to Kansas. What do you take from a race like this and completely flip it on its back and go back to a mile and a half?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not really a whole lot you can take from this to that, other than just a good finish and hope to ride the momentum and get headed in the right direction and start stacking up top fives and top threes and compete for wins.
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch. Well, before we let you go, buddy, I want to give you a chance here, give any shout outs, and it's all yours.
Yeah, thanks to you guys, of course. Thanks to Sim Racer Hub and Sneed Competition Design, my 423 racing teammates Clinton and Gabe Ellison, my brother. He's on vacation this week, but still want to give a shout out to him, of course.
Awesome deal, Mitch. Well, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight, coming home in third. And we'll see if we can't maybe catch up with you next week down there in Kansas.
Yep, we'll try to talk to you again here in a little bit after the truck race.
Absolutely, Mitch. All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Mike. Your third place finisher, Mitch Ellison. And I'll tell you what, he sounds pretty excited for the truck race. And we'll see, working double duty tonight. We'll see if he can grab a win on that side of things.
Yeah, as he mentioned, he was one of the conservative guys running towards the back there, was lucky enough to get the lucky dog. Paid off for him well tonight. He was able to still capitalize and get that third place finish here tonight. So good run for him tonight. we'll get a chance to talk to Garrett Delph, who was challenged there for the win there on the final lap. Bring him in, see what he saw there on the final lap here at Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Garrett Delph. I do believe you have him.
Hey, Garrett, this is Mike and Steve up in the ERN booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. Congratulations on your second place finish here tonight. Kind of hectic second green white checker here. You're in position there. Saw the mishap there on the back straightaway, then a little bit contact 3 and 4. Kind of walk us through that last lap there, as you almost came home with this one tonight.
Man, that last restart was crazy. We were hanging out the whole night. We wanted to make sure a car was available at the end. We were really successful last season here at the plate tracks, and we wanted to do that again. So we kind of just minded our business. That late yellow, really, we got some luck when the pack got bunched back up together again. And at that point, it's overtime, so we went for it. Got pretty lucky on the first overtime, staying safe. And on the second one, just went for it. Got a really good run coming up the outside. Threw that up into the third lane, up against the wall. Got great pushing from my teammate Bradley Wilson. And that got us all the way out to the front of the pack. And then the last lap, I don't know what happened behind me. I'll have to go back and watch that. As far as what happened as we were battling for the lead, I just saw some space opening up on that bottom line, and I took it. It's turn 4 Talladega, and I don't think you can really give any space up. So I went for it. We got in contact, and 78 just with the crazy wind to come around and catch me there at the end. That was awesome. So congrats to him. That was a fun race, and we had a good time.
Yeah, it turned out to be a wild finish there at the end. You just looked like you lost a little bit too much momentum with that contact at 3 and 4. Great run for you here tonight, though. I mean, Talladega is one of the places that I talk about. Is a gamble, but second place is definitely a good run here at Talladega. Going forward next week, going to Kansas. How do you feel about Kansas? And how does that track normally run for you?
Well, Kansas is one of my best, I'd say, and one of my favorites. So I'm really excited to bring it back out next week, especially for that truck race at Kansas, to have some fun on the high line and see if we can bring home some money next week too.
Well, good luck to you next week. And once said, good run here tonight. You were in contention for the win there at the end. Just unfortunately one place short. Before we let you go, we're going to toss a microphone over to you, let you give a shout out to your sponsors, family, friends. That you want to. The microphone is all yours.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to shout out Shenandoah Shine, awesome sim racing community for everyone that we have over there and everything that they help put together and help us find these events and so on. You guys should check out their website, shenandoahshine.co, and get you some merchandise. And they should have sim racing gloves available here in the next couple weeks. Brand new product that we're really excited about. So everyone needs to get a grip and check out Shenandoah Shine.
Hey, Garrett, we'll have a good night, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again here soon, and good luck next week in the Kansas race in the Arca cars.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Well, there you go. That's Garrett Delph. Just didn't have quite enough momentum there to get it finished with the crazy run by TJ DeBlasi there. On the last coming across the trail there to the checkered finish. So, good run for him tonight, though. Keep it clean early and was there at the end.
Yeah, right place, right time, Mike. I mean, that's sometimes that's just the name of the game. And coming home second, and should be a good momentum booster, for him going forward. But here's a guy I want to talk to, and another guy, right place, right time, kind of stays out of the mess at the end, and that's your race winner. Hey TJ, this is Steve and Mike up in the ERN booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey TJ, well let's just talk the final couple laps of this race. A lot of things happened. We had 2 green white checkers attempt. You kind of just ended up being right place, right time, and get to come out of here with a win. Walk us through those last couple laps, and what was it like trying to dodge the mayhem?
Yeah, tell you the truth, mayhem's the right word for it. I mean, I had some damage, so I went in twice under that last caution and fixed some damage, and had a little bit left, but not much. Top put a little bit left in the tank, so I knew I was good with fuel, and then I don't even remember where I started, maybe 12th or so. And then I knew it was going to get crazy, so I was kind of guarding the top a little bit, and then trying to keep my little distance so I could come down if something happened. And I came down when the mayhem started, and I actually got clipped. Someone clipped my right rear, and I got sideways, and I just stayed in the gas. It was all or nothing, and somehow it ended up getting back straight. And I don't know what happened in front of me. There were two guys going for it, and I think one got a little trigger happy and got into the back of the leader and slowed up his momentum just enough for me to skate on by.
Yeah, it's funny, TJ. That sometimes that's just the way it goes, and sometimes you're just handed the position, and you don't always get those wins, so you take them when you can. But switching gears, heading down to Kansas next week. Back to a 1.5 mile track here. How's Kansas run for you? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I love Kansas. It's a great track. I'm a little disappointed I missed the last 2 weeks. I feel like I'm really good at Nashville, and last week's race I felt like I could have had a good run too, but some stuff came up, so this ended up being my first race of the season. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Kansas. I like it there. If the race is up by the wall, I feel like that's where I shine, so I'm looking forward to running the wall and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely, TJ. Well, before we let you go, celebrate this race win here from Talladega Super Speedway. You want to give any shout-outs?
No, not in particular. Shout out to, I guess, Clinton for getting me the invite into this league.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you showing up here tonight, and congratulations on the win. And we'll see you maybe next week. We'll catch up with you down there at Kansas Speedway.
Thanks, man. See ya.
All right, Mike, your race winner, TJ DeBlasi. And, well, I'll tell you what, right place, right time gets the race win here. And, well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited for this truck race coming up.
Yeah, he was able to get some damage fixed, as he said. Still had a little bit left there, but had enough momentum there off the draft, able to dodge the majority of that going on the last lap here. Able to sneak by there at the start-finish line and come home with the win here tonight. So good momentum for him for the rest of the season. And, as you mentioned, this is the first race of the doubleheader here tonight from Talladega. So we'll take a moment here and run through our race results real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Let's see how they came home tonight, rocking away with the win. The 78, TJ DeBlasi. Second will be the 13 of Garrett Delph. Third, Mitch Ellison in the 55. In fourth, the 33 machine, Josh Clemens. Fifth, Joshua Abbey. Led most of this race. Late pit stop there. Comes home in the top 5. Bradley Wilson will bring it home in 6th tonight in the 51. 7th will be Donnie Lyons in the 79. 8th, Kyle Bartles in the 95. 9th will be Howie Meyer in the 929. 10th, Brandon Pearl in the 00. 11th is going to be Cody Dorsey in the 84. And 12th, Bruce Lee Weaver in the 50.
Coming up 13th is Johnny Barker in the number 6. 14th goes to Rodney Griffin in the number 97. 15th is John Peel in the number 7. 16th is the number 75 of Brian Skidmore. 17th, Justin Malarkey in the 73. 18th, Kevin Winker on the number 42. 19th, Josh Lockwood in the 19. 20th is Robert Colgan in the 94. And running out the field will be Josh Lockwood in the number 19. For some reason the scoring's a little off there.
Yeah, it sure is. That's weird. Alrighty, folks. Well, that's part 1 for tonight. Part 1 in the books. Don't go anywhere. Flip on back over here to YouTube in about 25 minutes, and we will have your Truck Series race here from Talladega Super Speedway, Mike, and I'm looking forward to it.
So am I. So that'll be coming up here on Evolution Racing Network. As you just mentioned, 25 minutes from now. It should be another exciting race, another exciting finish here. Stay tuned, fans. We're going to get everything reloaded, and we'll be bringing you that race here shortly.
All right, guys, stay tuned for Michael Sheffield. I'm Steve Carpel. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.